It's dumb after show where the afters are shows after show 14. We only got one more from Cory.
Yeah.
Oh, what are we going to do after show?
I don't know.
I don't know. I have a lot of information here. I might have to condense some of this. Holy shit, it's still going. It looked way less on my computer.
Yeah, that'll happen.
I'm excited to hear from this.
Yeah.
All right.
Did you hear they're doing a Glee remake?
Why?
I don't know. It's funny.
It hasn't even been off the air that long for them to warrant
That cast has some major issues.
I loved the
Child diddler.
Yeah.
I loved the
Drug overdose.
Drug overdoses.
I loved the one music video.
One fell off a boat.
I love the one music video
Yeah.
they did. I love the one music video they did. I've been trying to say it.
We'll say it.
We can always censor it out.
Beep.
I love the one music video they did where they were all dancing around the pool and the kid in the wheelchair, they just kind of like pushed him in and everyone was jumping in.
Oh,
It's
whoops.
so Oakley.
And yet
Whoops.
they couldn't pick someone actually in a wheelchair to play that part.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
He can walk.
a normie.
Remember
Yeah.
when Drake was shot in fucking Degrassi?
I forgot he was in Degrassi.
Yeah, and then he was wheelchair bound.
I don't like Drake.
No one does.
I said it.
He's like probably a pedophile.
Millie Bobby Brown.
And a lot of other girls.
Yeah.
I saw a recent picture of Millie Bobby Brown.
Doesn't look like her.
No.
She grew up.
She grew up. So fun fact, I don't actually say rhubarb when we're saying that. I just go rhubarb.
It sounds like you're saying rhubarb.
I know.
I've noticed that. I tried to slow down and actually say the full word.
I can't.
Guys, I don't even know this. I don't say rhubarb. I just go rhubarb.
So
Yeah.
I am a filmmaker.
Yes.
I'm a photographer.
Yeah.
And you own part of a hotel. I just wanted to throw that before you did. You always remind us. I want to make sure you got in there.
It's so ridiculous. This small portion.
Yeah, but you always remind us. It's up there.
I know because it makes me laugh.
It's funny. It is funny.
funny.
Listen, compared to these other investors, I'm not that big of a deal. But compared to you guys, I'm a big fucking
That's
deal.
true. That's true. I own nothing in a hotel.
That's
so
right.
Neither do
better,
I.
Yeah, better
Yeah,
than me there.
that's right. That's right. Anyway,
Yeah.
so being a photographer, I've practiced on many different mediums. I've learned how to do film, develop my own film, color film, digital,
Yeah.
all that. The leader in this,
Canon,
incorrect.
Kodak,
Correct.
because of the noise it made when the shutter went.
So today we're talking about Kodak, and
Sweet.
the fun thing I love about Kodak is, well, I'll get into it, but they were the biggest camera company in the world,
Yeah.
and then they hit a downfall
It was like overnight.
that killed them. It wasn't quite
Yeah,
overnight,
didn't
but
they-
it was pretty
they-
close.
They filed for bankruptcy, right?
So let's get into it.
All right.
Real quick, Succession talked about this one time when they were like, 4 years ago, Kodak was like the largest, and he's and you know what it trades now? Like $250 a share or something like that. Yeah, there's a
So,
speech about
Like
it.
$2.50 a share.
I'll get into that too.
Okay.
So Kodak,
Yeah.
they're one of the biggest case studies in business of what not to do.
Oh,
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So let's just get into a little bit of the background, and let's talk about it.
What a legacy.
Yeah.
Right.
So Kodak was founded in 1888 by George Eastman as the Eastman Kodak Company. That's what it's still called today.
Okay.
It was one of the most famous names in the world of photography and videography in the 20th century. Kodak brought about a revolution in the photography and videography industry at the time when only huge companies could access the cameras used for recording movies and photography. Kodak said, hey, let's bring it to the masses. And that's what they did. And they became the household name and producing equipment that was portable and affordable.
Oh, nice.
Kodak was the most dominant company in its field for almost the entire 20th century.
Cat of nine tails and all.
But a series of wrong decisions killed it, and that's what we're going to get into.
Nice.
The history, by far the most significant event in the history of amateur photography, was the introduction of the Kodak #1 camera in 1888. Invented and marketed by George Eastman, the guy who started Kodak.
Yeah.
He was a former bank clerk from Rochester, New York.
Oh.
Excuse me. The Kodak was a simple box camera that came loaded with a 100 exposure roll of film. So you
Wow.
got 100 shots.
That's a lot.
Yeah, especially for a Model 1.
Yeah.
And what separated these guys from all the competitors was when the roll was finished, the entire camera, the thing was sent back to the factory in Rochester, and it was reloaded and returned to the customer while the first roll was being processed.
Oh, wow.
That's cool.
So they made it really easy. And although the Kodak was made possible by technical advances in the development of roll film and small fixed focus cameras, Eastman's real genius was his marketing strategy.
Okay.
He simplified everything, and the processing of the film for the consumer, that's what really got people
you just sent it
into
away
photography.
and-
It's click it and forget.
Yeah.
Let me see here. I have a lot of words that I'm just going to
That's
go
okay.
through, and we'll just have to cut. He launched the advertising campaign featuring women and children operating the camera because nobody's as smart as men. So women and children
Oh,
got
I
to
see.
be.
I see.
Yeah.
So you're saying, like, it's so easy a woman could do it.
Or a child.
Oh, no, children, especially little boy children, they're much smarter.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
the slogan was
Oh, how the times have changed.
the slogan, you press the button, we do the rest.
Oh, okay.
Within a few years of the Kodak's introduction, snapshot photography became a national craze. Various forms of the word Kodak entered common American speech: Kodaking, Kodakers, and Kodakery.
Ooh.
Really?
Yeah.
Could they have lost their copyright for that? Kind of like how Google's facing
Google gets
that
mad.
now.
Yeah.
And amateur camera fiends formed clubs and published magazines to share their enthusiasm. By 1898, just 10 years after the first Kodak was introduced, one photography journal estimated that over 1.5 million roll film cameras had reached the hands of amateur shutterbugs.
Wow.
And the rest is history. Here's Cory, and everything was great.
Hey.
It was great having you in an episode after show 14.
So I kind of got into like some people who used the first decade of the 20th century. Serious amateur photographers reacted to this craze, and they formed organizations dedicated to promoting photography as a fine art. There was one really important one.
Who's that really famous photographer from the early 1900s?
There's a few.
I can't remember his name. They were talking about in my photography class.
Yeah, I got nothing.
Yeah. Ansel Adams.
Who?
Among
Ansel Adams, Cory? Ansel Adams? Photographer.
I don't know.
Know something photography you don't?
Maybe.
Maybe.
So people kept forming, clubs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah, I was right. Ansel Adams.
Oh, okay.
but among the most influential champions of the vernacular tradition in photography was John Sarkowski. And he was the curator of photography at the Museum of Modern Art in New York.
Oh, okay.
It's nifty.
Yeah. So that's a little history behind Kodak.
Yeah.
It was going great. But why did it fail?
I'm guessing it was a string of bad decisions.
Well, some
I-
could say that.
I'm going to say it's the opposite. I think they made one bad decision. I don't think they kept up with the times.
So Kodak for many years enjoyed unmatched success all over the world. By
Yeah.
1968, it had captured about 80% of the global market.
Jesus. That's like the fucking zippers.
Yeah.
Yeah, at its peak, being worth $31 billion with 145,000 employees. And that's like in the 1960s.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
jeez.
A lot of money.
a lot.
And we're talking all across the world for these employees?
They had 145,000.
Okay, well, still, that's impressive
Yeah.
either way.
So they adapted the razor and blades business plan, which is, if you don't know what that is, it's
I don't.
you sell them the handle
Uh-huh.
and a razor,
Uh-huh.
and then they're locked into your ecosystem.
So then they have to buy blades from
Yeah,
you.
they have to buy your blades.
I see. A la Apple.
Apple, all those other
Proprietary stuff. Yeah.
stuff.
Okay. I didn't realize that was the term for it.
Yep,
That's cool.
razor blades. So, and it was high profit margins. They
Imagine.
controlled everything. Mm-hmm. So their plan was to sell cameras at affordable prices, which was great. But then the film, the printing sheets, and the other accessories
More expensive shit.
were expensive as shit, which is
Yeah.
where the high profit. So they probably lost money on the cameras,
Oh, yeah.
but they
also
didn't care.
Because
Yeah.
film's also cheap per se, but you'd sell it at a high markup.
Correct.
Yeah.
So As technology progressed, the use of films and printing sheets gradually came to a halt. The times were changing.
Yeah.
This was due to the invention of digital cameras in 1975.
Yeah.
Really, 75?
75.
Oh,
Now,
yeah. But
I'll
those
show you-
things were like huge.
I'm going to show you the first picture of a digital camera.
Picture taken or picture of?
A picture of the actual camera.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, however, though, Kodak dismissed the capabilities of the digital camera and
it's
refused
like-
to do something about it. This is where it gets bad.
Yeah.
That's like the history of computers, basically.
The
Yeah.
inventor, this is funny. The inventor of the digital camera, Steven Sasson, was an electrical engineer at Kodak when he developed the digital camera.
No.
So Kodak had the
no.
money in there. They had the fucking...
He brought it to the bosses at Kodak. Their response: "That's cute, but don't tell anyone about that. That's how you shoot yourself in the foot."
Oh.
Womp, womp, womp.
That's the
Yeah.
camera.
It was like a big Polaroid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
That's what everyone was used to at the time.
Yeah.
That's funny as shit. So
Yeah.
they had the fucking like golden goose.
They
and
had it.
Yeah.
And they just said no. What? That's so
had
dumb. Why
it.
would you say no just from like a
Well-
experimental standpoint?
Well, here's also the other thing. Hindsight's 2020.
Hindsight is 2020, I guess.
Because what was it? I was doing research, thumbing through one of my books that my Uncle Jojo and Aunt Susie gave me. And,
thanks, Uncle
NGG.
Jojo
Yeah,
and Susie.
and GG.
And GG.
And there was one where Margaret Thatcher was quoted saying, "There's no way a woman will ever become a prime minister."
Well, there's a lot of fucking shit Margaret Thatcher said that was very wrong.
There was.
So
that's the least of her.
that included.
Yeah.
So they were making so much money that they ignored the digital cameras because the films and paper was profitable.
Yeah.
And they at the
It's,
time these items were no longer required for photography.
Yeah.
I guess it's true. They would have to completely switch their business model.
Yeah.
'Cause now it would be the
Well, it was almost like Microsoft with the 360 for a little bit, because wasn't there a time where they actually said the 360 is doing so well, we don't have any reason why we should like upgrade it.
I didn't know that, but I could see that.
So
Yeah.
then digital cameras, obviously it was going to happen.
Yeah.
Large scale by a Japanese company. Anybody know?
No. Oh, were you asking what the company is? Fiji Film?
They're close.
Oh, that's it. Oh,
Fuji.
Oh,
Is it just Fuji?
Yeah.
I thought it was like
Fujifilm, yeah.
I thought it was like Fujima or something.
No, Fuji Films. And
So close.
many other companies started the production and sales of digital cameras, leaving Kodak behind.
Wow.
And this was Kodak's first mistake.
Yeah.
Ignorance is what it was. After the digital camera became popular, Kodak spent almost 10 years arguing with Fujifilms, its biggest competitor, that the process of viewing an image captured by a digital camera was a typical process and people loved the touch and feel of a printed image.
I now in retrospect, I'm gonna agree with that. I do like a printed
Yeah.
picture now more.
It's nice.
Yeah. There's nothing that compares to like actually having like the physical thing in your hand.
Think about all the Polaroids we took down at the fucking cabin.
Yeah. And then also like even just like doing ebooks.
Yeah.
Like whether you
Oh,
do it
yeah.
on your phone, your tablet, or
Yeah.
like your e-reader, it's like an actual book is better.
No, I am pro book.
So
Yeah.
Kodak believed that the citizens of the United States of America would always choose it over Fujifilms, a foreign company.
Nice guess.
Fujifilms and many other companies focused on gaining a foothold in the photography and videography segment rather than engaging in a verbal spat with Kodak. And once again, Kodak wasted time promoting the use of film cameras instead of emulating its competitors. It completely ignored the feedback from the media and the market. Kodak tried to convince people that film cameras were better than digital cameras and lost 10 valuable years in the process.
You wanna know what the irony of this is? My first digital camera was a Kodak.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Thing ate through
Yeah.
batteries like was going out of
That's
fucking
funny.
Yeah,
style.
this is like trying to drown out the old man who's just like screaming at all the younger generations like, what the fuck are you people doing?
It's big Simpsons. Old man yells at cloud.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Kodak also lost the external funding it had during the time. People also realized that digital photography was way ahead of traditional film photography. It was cheaper than film photography, and the image quality was better.
I would say, up to a point, I would argue film was better quality.
Yeah.
I would say the past 10
Well-
years it switched, but like before that, man.
Well, the I would say the second to final nail in the coffin for them was that it was cheaper.
Yeah.
That's always the best. That's always like the best leading argument in any business model. We can do this for the less cost,
Yeah, who cares about quality?
Yeah. So managers,
especially in the beginning.
Yeah.
so managers at Kodak tried to convince the people in charge that they need to change their strategy. But management decided to stick with its outdated idea of relying on film cameras and claimed the reporter who said the statement in the magazine, there was a magazine printed that they were being left in the dust, did not have the knowledge to back his proposition. Kodak failed to realize that its strategy, which was effective at one point, was now depriving of its success. Let's see. Kodak invested its funds in acquiring many small companies, depleting the money it could have used to promote the sales of digital cameras.
So instead of doing anything better, they just bought up other film companies.
Yeah, so
who
when
were
they-
selling because digital is now a
Correct.
thing.
Oh,
So when they finally caught up, well, they didn't catch up, but they understood and started the sales and production of the digital. It was too late.
yeah.
There's too many big companies established, and they couldn't get a market share in it. In 2004, Kodak finally announced it would stop the sales of traditional film cameras. This decision made around
Full stop the
full
sales.
stop.
Really?
Made around 15,000 employees, about 1/5 of the company's workforce at the time, redundant. Before the start of the year 2011, Kodak lost its place on the S&P 500 index, which lists the 500 largest companies in the U.S.
Yeah.
based on stock performance. In September 2011, the stock price of Kodak's hit an all-time low of 54 cents. The shares lost more than 50% of their value
Oh my god.
Jesus.
throughout that year.
At that point, it's probably smarter for people who are buying stocks to invest in Kodak's decline.
Yeah, so
Short sell them.
short, yeah. By January 2012, Kodak has used up all of its resources and cash reserves. On the 19th of January in 2012, Kodak filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy, which resulted in the reorganization of the company. Kodak was provided with $950 million on an 18-month credit facility by the Citigroup.
Why the fuck would you loan money to Kodak in this scenario?
Yep. The credit enabled Kodak to continue functioning. To generate more revenue, some sections of Kodak were sold to other companies. Along with this, Kodak decided to stop the production and sales of the digital camera and stepped out of the world of digital photography.
What does Kodak do?
I'll get to that. It shifted to the sale of camera accessories and the printing of photos. There's also more.
Okay.
Kodak had to sell many of its patents, including its digital imaging patents, which amounted to more than $500 million in bankruptcy protection. In September 2013, Kodak announced it had emerged from Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection.
Good for them.
All right.
Where are they now?
Good, yeah, fucking good question.
Currently, Kodak provides packaging, functional printing, graphic communications, and professional services for businesses around the world. Better known for making cameras, Kodak moved into drug making and has secured a $765 million loan from the U.S. government in 2020.
So you mean to tell me one day I'm going to be popping Zoloft made by Kodak?
Yeah.
Probably.
Kodak now only has 4,500 employees.
Wow.
They had 145,000.
Holy shit.
They
Wow.
had 4,500 with a stock price of $4.42
That's
as
like-
of May 19th.
That's like less than like
That's
Temple University, probably, like staff.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, probably.
Yeah, that's wild. Imagine the college
Yeah.
being able to take you over.
Well, it's like
Although last year they made a revenue of $1 billion. So, I mean,
Of course, they
Okay,
I mean,
they're
like,
not-
they're
back.
offering decent services, I guess.
Yeah.
But like they're just not doing code. That's wild.
But
Yeah.
they were worth $31 billion in 1964 or whatever.
Yeah.
Jesus.
So think
Christ.
about what that would have been now if they.
Oh yeah,
if
Christian.
they got on the
I
train.
think you were correct in the sense that that they didn't make a series of bad decisions. It was just one. Bad
It was
decision.
one big bad
That just-
decision.
yeah.
It was ignorance.
Yeah, it was.
Oh,
it was
absolutely.
It was full stop. It was the people up top being like, "We know better because we're
Yeah.
at top." Instead of like, it's just so weird because like technology
Yeah.
just advances. That's the
Always.
nature
Well,
of
they
technology.
didn't know that, and they put all their eggs in one basket. And
So dumb,
That's where they got them.
and they were all rotten.
Yeah.
So that's Kodak.
That was very interesting.
Yeah,
Cory.
that was interesting.
That was a sad story.
Yeah.
And it was one of the biggest flops in history.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder if they'll ever come back into something else.
There's no way they can't.
unless they really corner the pharmacy market.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, they're not coming back in the digital world.
That's true.
No.
Or the camera world.
And they've lost out. They're too far
Yeah.
behind.
Yeah.
They're gonna have to honestly. I think their best bet would jump into VR.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even that though is
You're gonna get fucking
Apple's-
lapped by Apple and Facebook.
Yeah.
Well, here's
Meta.
actually, here's the next best thing they could do if you could make any sort of component for Apple or Meta.
VR, that's
yeah,
true.
or for any industry like
Yeah.
that. It's like you would that would better future proof yourself.
Hmm.
Because I mean, look at Belkin.
What do they do?
Oh, they make accessories.
Belkin they're a great company.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like cables.
Third
and-
party.
Yeah. Third,
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
the cable they gave me for my display.
Yeah.
Cables, chargers, wall outlets, that sort, like computer and smartphone accessories, that sort of thing.
If I get an accessory, it's normally from Belkin.
Belkin,
Yeah.
fair enough.
Yeah, they're good quality too.
Hear me out, okay? Kodak's and pharmaceuticals. You know who's doing right now? Well, right now, pharmaceuticals because of COVID. You heard it here first. Kodak started COVID.
I believe it.
Yeah. COVID, Kodak. Say less.
We have the documents right here.
We have them right here.
They knew that this could work because they turned the frogs gay first.
Ooh, what are those little moving red dots?
Is that what happened?
Yeah.
What?
The frogs happened, and then I was like, what?
There was a chemical out there that turned the frogs gay. I don't know what to tell you.
Frogs gay.
Where was the chemical? I would like to pinpoint when this exactly happened.
Oh, I don't know, but it was released in Marlton, New Jersey in like '93.
Shit, I was in Voorhees.
And
It blew. The wind carried it from Marlton to Voorhees.
In '93, specifically targeting large Greek-looking men.
Greek.
You could pass for Greek.
You could pass for Greek.
Really?
You're
Yeah.
tan and hairy as fuck, dude.
Yeah.
It also could be Italian.
Greeks are just weird Italians.
Sicilian? Closer
Sicilian?
to
Maybe
Sicilian? Yeah.
And that whole
Southern
area.
Italian.
I'm not that. I'm not-
Southern Mediterranean.
I'm not
Okay.
that hairy.
Do you remember what our fucking bathroom looked like junior year? You could like scoop it together and make another person. Another Greek-looking guy.
But did it keep your feet warm?
It did keep my feet warm.
Case closed.
Okay. That's what broke the toilet. All the hair got sucked down into it. Oh, it's broken.
Oh, it's broken. I'm gonna need to call someone.
That poor man. He thought he knew it.
Kodak.
Thank you, Cory. After
welcome.
show 14th, that was very informative.
I was really excited about that one.
I think that was your most
No, that was
informative one yet.
interesting.
Thanks.
Yeah,
that
you
was-
did good.
It's definitely my longest one. There's a lot of info. I skipped over a bunch.
I could tell you
Yeah.
were really excited to present us this info.
Yeah. I was really happy about this one. I've been
Yeah.
wanting to do this. I just
Well,
haven't had
yeah.
the time to really sit down and
I appreciate it, dude.
research it.
That was
Yeah.
that was very informative. I would have never known anything about Kodak other than them
Yeah.
fucking up.
Yeah.
You did good.
Yeah.
Thanks.
You did very good.
Yeah.
That was fun.
Yeah.
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 We're not doing this again.
Say yeah one more time. Give me a reason.
Oh, man.
Uh,
All right.
Yeah.
after show 4.
Sorry.
After show 14.
Oh, I just got lightheaded coughing.
Jesus, Wheezy
After show-
McBreezy.
Yeah.
Oh.
All right. After show 14, you're gonna be okay.
I don't know.
All right.
We might have to drive home.
Okay.
Andre, do you want to take us out for once?
Sure. All right. So thank you for joining us for after show 14.
You're welcome.
When you get a chance, share the podcast. It's for spread the word. Tell your mom, tell your dad, tell everyone. Spread the word about our good info that we present to you.
Hey, fans,
Yeah.
tell your sisters.
What's up, bro?
What are you doing, step bro? Listen to Dumb Trivia.
So, thanks,
while you're stuck in that drawer, listen to this.
Yeah.
thanks for listening. You can find us on all social media platforms. Twitter, Dumb Trivia Pod.
You can find us on 3.
Don't fuck off.
Yeah, that's the 3 that matter. But
Instagram.
I like how you said that to the guy holding the gun.
Hey, don't fuck off.
Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Dumb Trivia, or
Dumb Trivia Pod. You'll
if you're-
find us.
You will.
Yeah.
Send us
Trust
a
me, we're
message.
there.
Yeah.
And
Stay dumb, stay safe.
stay dumb,
Yeah.
stay safe, stay
If,
stay spooky. I don't know.
Before
stay
one more
stay
thing,
cool.
if you want to support our show, please make your donation at coffee.com/dumbtrivia. That's ko-fi.com/dumbtrivia.
And we promise we won't blow it like Kodak did.
Oh, definitely not.
I'll blow it.
Anyway,
Yeah.
see you next week. Roll the outro.
Wait.
Yay.
Oh, okay, bye.
Wait. Bring it back. Bring it back. Bring it back.
I was gonna say, why would they see us next week? What is this?
The after show.
On Dumb Trivia. We'll see you next week on Dumb Trivia.
Roll the outro.
It's Dumb Trivia, where the questions are dumb and the hosts are dumber. It's Dumb Trivia. You'll probably learn a lot of things you didn't want to discover. You don't win anything, but that's alright. You can look down on your buddies with your bragging rights. Hang with Cory, Andres, and Christian too. They're best friends, now they're friends with you. Knowing nothing is the only criteria. Come on, it's Dumb Trivia.